What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Fast Break Tundra Baller. And today we're going to be talking about some Clippers basketball. And before we start off, we talked about the NBA Finals last time. And congrats to the New York Knicks for winning the championship. Game 5 was a really good game. So congrats. They started off really bad and then they came back and won. And what was crazy was that they were down for about 70% of the time during the NBA Finals, which is crazy. And they still won in 5 games. So congrats to them. So now that the season's over, the NBA draft is coming soon. Today, June 19th, the draft is 4 days away. So we are that close. The NBA season just ended, and now we are on to the NBA draft. So we're 4 days away from round one, 5 days away from round two. So on June 23rd and 24th will be the NBA draft instead of just one big day. So the first round on Tuesday, June 23rd, and June 24th for the second round. So we're going to be talking about 4 guys of who the Clippers should draft at number 5. So this was a really big thing, the NBA lottery. So thank you to the Indiana Pacers for giving us the number 5 pick. You know, if you guys were with me or listening along on Fast Break Tundra Baller back in February at the trade deadline, James Harden, he got traded. And did you guys hear about that when he got arrested, which is pretty crazy, and he has a court date pretty soon, and he was released on $100 bond for having a gun in plain view in his car, which is really crazy. And the other trade too, the Visa Zubac trade. This trade became really important when it came down to the NBA lottery because because we traded away a Visa Zubac for 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, Ben Mathurin, and Isaiah Jackson. And one of those picks could have been used for this year or in 2031. So it will only be used this year if the Pacers got the 5th to 9th pick. If not, it would be the Pacers pick this year if it was top 4 or from pick 9 to 30 in the first round, but from 5 to 9. They were guaranteed a top 6 pick since they were the second worst team in the league. And if it landed at 5 or 6, their pick, which was a 47.9% chance of happening, it would be the Clippers pick. And if it landed from 1 to 4, it will be the Pacers pick still. They would keep it. And that first round pick would go from this year to 2031. So I didn't want to wait 5 years. I wanted to use this pick. So now we are going to be talking about 4 guys of who the Clippers should draft at number 5, in my opinion. There are many guys. We're not going to be talking about the guys like the top draft picks like Cameron Boozer or AJ DeBamsta or Darren Peterson, because we know that those guys will most likely get picked in the top 4, most likely. But the first guy that we're going to be talking about is Caleb Wilson from North Carolina. He is a power forward. He is most likely in the top 4 too, but I hope that this guy, he is my favorite to be at number 5 of who the Clippers should get. I really want this guy. And after I explain all 4 guys, I will pretty much tell you guys of why I think the Clippers should draft either one of these guys. But Caleb Wilson, he is my favorite at number 5. So he's a power forward from North Carolina. He averaged 19.8 points, 9.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists. And his combined measurements, 6'9" barefoot, 210 pounds, 7-foot wingspan, and 9-foot standing reach. So he's just a foot away from touching the rim, just standing and putting his arm like that. And this guy, he is very athletic. He's 6'9", and he has a 39.5-inch vertical, very close to 40. And it makes him a big threat on both sides of the paint. When I just searched up Caleb Wilson highlights one day to see how this guy was, because I talked about 3 guys of who the Clippers should draft on my TikTok. Make sure you guys follow my TikTok, by the way. If you're not already, it's Tundra_Baller_0. I was just like, oh my god, like look at this. It was like really explosive when it was like looking at Yannick and Niederhauser highlights, but maybe more aggressive. And I was just like, wow, look at this guy. I really hope the Clippers get this guy. So he did get hurt in February due to a hand injury, and he was close to return, but he broke his right thumb at practice a month later. So that pretty much ended his season. He didn't play in March Madness. He led the nation in dunks before his injury with 66 dunks in 24 games. So he averaged almost 3 dunks. So yeah, very close to 3 dunks a game. And he draws a lot of contact. He draws fouls. He averaged 7.5 free throw attempts per game and made 71% of his free throws. And a lot of his shots, it comes from the paint, but he can also knock down mid-range jumpers. He's also a good defender. When I was looking at his highlights, he was just like volleyball spiking all of those shots from the defense or from the offense. And he averaged 1.4 blocks and 1.5 steals. And he can also be a big in small ball situations, which for Clippers, Tyronn Lue, he likes to run small ball. And some of the awards he got was first team all conference, which was first team all ACC, and consensus second team all America. And some of his weaknesses, so pretty much on all the things that all the players I'll talk about, we're gonna be talking about like his combine measurements, his stats, his strengths and weaknesses, and the awards that they won also. So that was his strengths. And some of the weaknesses that the scouts are saying is that he needs to be stronger, and he needs to bulk up for the season. He is 210 pounds right now at 6'9", which is kind of skinny, and he needs to bulk up to deal with the bigs in the league because in the league right now you're playing against fully grown men, 7-foot guys, and they're just really really strong. And he's not much of a threat in the perimeter too. He did make a few threes. He's 26% from three. He doesn't shoot that much, and he only made 7 threes in the 24 games that he played. And according to NBADraft.net, his comparison is Jermaine O'Neal and Chris Bosh. So I really like that. It does make sense when I was looking at him. He grabs a lot of offensive rebounds, and he averaged 2.8 offensive rebounds per game, which is pretty good. So he get a lot of putbacks that way. So the next guy that we're going to be talking about is Darius Acuff Jr. He is a point guard from Arkansas. He averaged 23.1 points, 3.1 rebounds, and 6.4 assists. His combine measurements: 6'2" barefoot, 186 pounds, a 6'7" wingspan, so he has a pretty long wingspan, and a 8'2.5" staying reach. His pro comparison is Tim Hardaway and Damian Lillard. He has a quick first step and is very strong at attacking the basket. He can score from all 3 levels. Pretty efficient score, 40% from the field, so that is pretty good. And he shoots a good amount of threes also, 5.8 threes a game attempts with 2.5 makes a game. And he's shooting 44% from downtown. And he creates a lot of space off the dribble for open shots. This guy, he might be my second or third favorite. Him and the last guy that we're going to talk about are pretty much my second favorites, or tied for my second favorites, which I can't decide which one I would want the Clippers to draft more than. And he also looks for teammates, for open teammates, 6.3 assists. He draws a lot of contact, 6 free throw attempts per game, and knocks down 81% of those shots. And some of the awards he got: the Bob Cousy Award, which is given to the nation's best point guard, and he was the first ever freshman to do it. The consensus first team All-American, and national player and freshman of the year finalists. Some of the things that he needs to improve on, according to scouts and NBA Draft.net, is his defense. They said that he needs to go around ball screens faster and he needs to make more of an impact forcing turnovers, which is zero, and he averaged 0.8 steals per game. A problem that the Clippers had was definitely defense, especially when it comes to giving up threes, because there were a good amount of games where the Clippers really lost games due to allowing a lot of threes. The next one that we're going to talk about is Kingston Flemings, a point guard from Houston. His numbers: 6.1 points, 4.1 rebounds, 5.2 assists. His combine measurements: at barefoot, 6'2.5", 183 pounds, 6'3.5" wingspan, and 8'2.5" stand reach. His pro comparison: De'Aaron Fox and Derrick Rose. He is a pretty good passer in the pick and roll, and with only 1.8 turnovers per game, and he has 5.2 assists. So about a 5 to about 2 assist turnover ratio. And he can score on all three levels, averaging 16 points per game, 47% from the field. And he's also a really good defender. He makes things hard for the other guards on offense. And he can also guard multiple positions and grabbing 1.5 steals per game. In some of the awards he set a program record for Houston basketball with 594 points, the single season scoring record, which is the most in program history, and the previous record was 510. So he beat that record by 84 points. And that record was held for 45 years. And he also was awarded the John R. Wooden Award America team. And the biggest concerns is his shooting mechanics. He did make 38% from three while making 1 3 a game, about 1.1 to be exact, and 2.9 3-point attempts a game. And the scouts say that they want him to shoot more threes so he could be a bigger threat around the perimeter. And he is a good scorer, can make it from all three levels, but they want him to be a bigger threat around the perimeter, so to spread out the defense so they don't have to sag off a lot. And his shooting mechanics, they said that his guide hand is pretty bad, or it's like it's unconventional, and it would lead to less arc and backspin, which is kind of bad when it comes to shooting the ball. The last guy that we're going to be talking about is Keaton Wagler from Illinois. He's a shooting guard. He averaged 17.9 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. It is kind of similar with all these guys just could, besides Caleb Wilson, they could all shoot from all three levels. But this guy is definitely the best shooter out of all of these four guys. Definitely. He 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 can shoot 40% from three on 5.9 attempts per game, which is really good. And a lot of those shots are from deep. And the scouts are saying that his NBA comparison is Damian Lillard. He is just shooting from lights out when I was looking at his highlights. His combine measurements: 6'5", barefoot, 188 pounds, 6'6.25" wingspan, and 8'4" standing reach. And he can find ways to get to the rim also. He's not just a shooter. Well, he is pretty much a shooter, like what scouts is the first thing that the scouts would say, that he's a shooter. But that's not the only thing he could do. He could finish at the rim. But the scouts say that he shoots 56% at the rim in half-court settings, so not including fast breaks or full-court situations. And the 56%, that is what they're saying that he could improve on. If it's just like 56% for rim, that is definitely something you can improve on. Like something good would be like 60 something percent or 70 something or better. And he is able to get through the pick and roll and make good decisions. Like I said, he's averaging 4.2 assists per game. Some of his weaknesses is that he gets stronger before the season starts. He came to the combine at 188 pounds. So, especially with these guards, these shorter guards, they are really strong. And I think that, throughout the years, I feel like that they have gone a lot stronger. And he definitely needs that so he can defend them and make space too, with a shoulder bump or just to protect the ball also and finish at the rim also. You gotta be strong. And he's also not as athletic as other guards, and he needs to get better defensively. He averaged 0.9 steals and 0.4 blocks per game. So he's pretty much just known as a shooter, or the biggest thing about him that he's a shooter. And some of the awards that he won was the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year award. Just like the Bob Cousy award, it's the best award at your position, but this is for the shooting guard, the Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year award. This is given to the best shooting guard in the nation in college, and the Bob Cousy award is to the best point guard. He was also the South Region Most Outstanding Player in the NCAA tournament, so that is a pretty big deal. So that is all the four guys that we're going to be talking about in this episode. But let's give a little bit of reasoning of how these guys could fit. So I'm going to tell you guys all the free agents for the Clippers this offseason. And I'll tell you guys my opinion if the Clippers should re-sign them or get a better offer or let them walk. Because there are six guys that have an option. Five of them is a team option, one of them is a player option, and we have one restricted and one unrestricted free agent. So the unrestricted free agent is John Collins. So this season was his last year of his contract, and he was earning $25 million a year. So I think that the Clippers will re-sign him unless if we have somebody to or we could use him in a trade maybe, but I really liked him during the season, so definitely let's re-sign him. Like maybe for maybe 30 million or I don't know. And we have to see what's going to happen with the Kawhi Leonard situation. It's still an ongoing investigation as of June 19th at the time of recording this. So hopefully, and I believe Kawhi and Steve Ballmer are innocent, but I want to hear from the NBA that they're innocent. And I hope that sometime soon. Maybe they will come to a conclusion before the draft because one of the punishments, if they are found guilty of this, is letting go draft picks. So we'll see how this goes. So the restricted free agent is Ben Mathurin. So restricted is that the team can offer him a deal or any team can offer a restricted free agent a deal. But if a so let's say like the Suns, they give them like 10 million, like 2 years, 20 million, for example. And the Clippers, they could either match that or they could give them a higher salary contract. So that's how a restricted free agent works. Unrestricted, they could sign anywhere. So John Collins, he could sign anywhere right now. So that okay, I want this team to sign me for like, or as long as they offer them. So here comes the options right here. The player option is Bradley Beal, a $5.6 million option. Kobe Sanders team option, 2.2 million. Jordan Miller team option, 2.5 million. Nico Batum, 5.9 million player option. Brook Lopez team option, 9.2 million. And the last one, Bogdan Bogdanovic, 16 million. So will the Clippers accept those player options or not? Or Bradley Beal, it's up to him. But the other five guys like Bogey, Brook, Nico, Miller, and Sanders, it's up to the team. So Bradley Beal, I think he will accept it. He was injured the whole year. He wasn't healthy, and with a broken hip also. So, will the team accept the team options? Bogdan Bogdanovic, yes, I think they will. Kobe Sanders and Jordan Miller, yes, they had a really good year, and you could get them for cheap. So yeah, accept that. You're just going to be using $4 million on two players. Bogdan Bogdanovic, though, like it is $16 million, and he was a bench warmer for a lot of the season, so it could be expensive, but I honestly don't want to see him go. But a business is a business. And Brooke Lopez and Nico Batum, those guys are getting old. Brooke Lopez, like if we do accept his option somehow, it might be his last season. And Nico Batum also, but I don't think the Clippers should accept those options. Brooke Lopez, he was better throughout the season. Like Like he was really good in preseason. Like he wasn't missing. But when the season started, he wasn't hitting a lot of shots. But as the season went, he was making more shots. So with the draft picks here, Caleb Wilson, I feel like he would be a really good fit if we decline Brooke Lopez's option. Or either way, I think that we should take Caleb Wilson if he is somehow not picked in the top four. But most likely he will. But I really hope that there's like a little bit of a chance for him to not get picked at not get picked in the top four. Like we have young bigs right now. We have Isaiah Jackson, Yannick Cohen Niederhauser, and then we have an Brooke Lopez. But just imagine Caleb Wilson, Isaiah Jackson, and Yannick, three young guys, and they're your bigs. And Yannick, we don't know if he'll be ready at the start of the season. And I know Isaiah Jackson will be ready to start if Yannick is hurt, or who knows? Who knows who will start? If it will be if it's without Brooke Lopez and if it's just Yannick and Isaiah Jackson. But Caleb Wilson, I really want to see him be a Clipper. And with these guards here, if we do consider a guard in at pick number 5 assuming Caleb Wilson is gone, I feel like we have to go with Keaton Wagler. We already have like guards. We already have like ball handlers. We we literally just got Darius Garland last February, and I don't think that he's going to go anywhere. And we have Kawhi Leonard also, assuming that he is innocent from the aspiration situation, which I don't think will happen. And Steve Ballmer said, or the Clippers, they said that the plan is to win with Kawhi. So I don't think that they're gonna trade him. The only thing that's gonna stop him from being a Clipper this year is the aspiration situation, literally. But he played a whole year with that situation, and he had a career high in points, averaging almost 28 a game. And he's dropped 30 points in a quarter in the All-Star game this year. Add into it, Dome, right here. And yeah, Keaton Wagler, like I feel like we really need a shooter though. Like we do have good shooters, but there are just some games where we just can't hit threes. And we win a lot of games when we make threes, but we don't when we don't make threes, we don't win a lot of games. That was a big problem throughout this season. Like shooting the ball and allowing threes. That was a big problem. Very, very big problem. Like we could get to the line, we could finish up a basket, we could hit our middies. But the big problems that I've seen by going to 40 Clipper games in those losses, allowing threes and missing a lot of threes. And Keaton Wagler, he shoots deep threes. He could be our solution to that. Like I don't think we need a starting guard or maybe a backup point guard behind Darius Garland because who knows? Will Chris Dunn start this season again? Because he is a really, really good defender. And I absolutely love that guy. Really good defender. Should have been first team all defense, but it's okay. We all know that he is first team all defense in our hearts. So, and with other guys too, like Kingston Flemings and Darius Acuff, those guys are pretty much ball handler guards. So will they I've heard a lot of people saying like, yeah, let's get Darius Acuff or Kingston Flemings or Keaton Wagler. It is a big possibility. Most likely Wagler, Acuff, and Flemings, they will all be available at number 5. So it will be very, very, very big decision. And I'm just excited to see who the Clippers will get at number 5. So for round one on Tuesday, June 23rd, there is a watch party at Intuit Dome. So if you are a Clipper fan, it's a free event at Intuit Dome, a draft party. You should go. And if you're a season ticket holder, also there is a meet a player event the next day on Wednesday, June 24th. So we're going to be meeting whoever we get at number 5. So this will be really exciting, and I hope that I will be able to go on Wednesday. Most likely I'll be able to, but Tuesday I definitely will. So Clipper Nation, I will see you there at Intuit Dome on Tuesday. And that is pretty much it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll talk about our draft picks next week. So we not only we have a number 5 pick, we have picks 36 and 52. So we'll talk about all of that of our 3 draft picks if we don't trade any of them away. We'll just talk about all of our draft picks next week. So I'll see you guys next time.